Hey guys, Sirak here. Today we're going to be doing a new series, a little bit of short videos featuring each of the civs um, for Battle for Middle-earth. So today we're going to be starting with the Elves. So your starting TC is in the Grey Havens and is noted as such. You also have access to the Mithlond Troop Chamber as well as the House of the Noldor. You also have one of your 3 docks here, where you have some nice fish just outside, and it all houses the hero Círdan. Now, he's kind of important because he gets to meet Gandalf later, and basically it starts the giant quest lines for Gandalf, as well as the fact that you have some special units coming from both the Mithlond Troop Chamber as well as the House of the Noldor. It should be noted that you give the evil team a lot of gold if Círdan dies, or if the House of the Noldor and the town center here dies. The next spot is if you just keep going, scrolling down here, you have Edhellon. Edhellon is a nice little port city, so it has 2 docks, and that lovely tower over here featuring Edhellon. If that one dies, you give a nice buff to the evil team, so their Mumakil production will actually increase significantly if this dies, if they ever have access to them. The next spot I want to show you guys is Mirkwood. So you have King Thranduil that starts here, and you also have a castle and your only siege workshop. You also have the Mirkwood Troop Chamber, which you'll be able to go ahead and get some special units out there once you've completed certain quests. It should be noted that if the castle dies, the 4 towers that are here that are unobtainable by melee are actually going to just be destroyed. Just to make sure that you guys are understanding that if the castle dies, the towers fall alongside with. The next area is just slightly to the south. You have the lovely forest of Lothlorien. Now here in Lothlorien, it does house another castle, and it is surrounded by trees. It should be noted on this particular map, onagers are unable to cut trees, just like the vanilla Age of Empires 2. But it also contains Haldir, Galadriel, and the Elven barracks where you can make some nice Lorien archers. It also houses some Elven tree houses. So as you can see, you have 6 of these wonderful towers here. And as long as Haldir is inside Lothlorien, they also get buffed for damage, which means that they have an extra +7 attack to the towers, as well as the fact that they become untargetable. It does not mean the same as indestructible, but it just means that they're harder to kill by a long shot, so since you cannot actually physically right-click them. So they will die to things that have splash damage that are attacking nearby, so if you build a house right by a tower, and let's say, for example, a siege ram does hit the house, the towers will also take some of that damage. Things that can also attack ground will also be able to destroy these lovely towers. It should be noted that if Haldir dies, you give a buff to Isengard, and then if Galadriel dies, you give a buff to Mordor. Not only does it give a buff to Mordor, but the trees surrounding the castle here will actually disappear, making Lothlorien an easier target. And if Lothlorien dies, it's also an additional buff to Mordor. The last place that is for the Elves is Rivendell. So you do have a nice, lovely castle here. It houses your one and only monastery, and this is kind of important because this monastery is the one that you need for good to be able to get the eagles. Rohan and Gondor also have a monastery, but nothing happens if you put a relic inside. And in here you start with Elrond, Legolas, and Arwen. Of course, Legolas is very important for the Fellowship quest. Elrond, if you keep him in Rivendell over here within the walls, actually boosts your samurai production by half. And so you basically get a samurai every 3 seconds or something with conscription, which is a ridiculous speed to produce them at. Keeping Elrond in Rivendell also gives access to the Rivendell Lancers, which you'll see how to obtain shortly. Just like in Mirkwood, instead of the castle dying, if this tower in the back here dies, the 4 towers guarding the gates of Rivendell will also perish. It should be noted that the rocks here will disappear at minute 20 so that it releases the rest of the Fellowship. I just wanted to make a special note that at minute 14, Mirkwood gets a villager in the castle of Mirkwood, so you can go ahead and start building a TC and enjoy the nice resources here. You also get a villager in Edhellon at minute 18. And the last one is you get a villager in this lovely stable here at minute 20. I want to give kind of two special mentions to certain other places that you might want to care about. The first one is Fornos here, where you'll find Glorfindel. So this is just right above Rivendell. And lastly is the tent down here in Helm's Deep. If you complete the Helm's Deep quest, this tent becomes yours, and you'll be able to train and double your Lorien Archer production.